What's up, good people? All right, y'all pop on in here. We are going to talk for a few minutes. I'm the friend and brother Robert W. Jojo Hill, of course, and I am where in the absolute building on tonight. Now, here is the question for tonight. Now, I want you guys to really consider and really think about this piece. And this is what a lot of the men are asking. So this is kind of directed for the ladies because I think I want us to start this year off with a set of information that may actually help you. I believe that this will actually help you. If you're not looking at what the fox is asking for as a rabbit, you're not going to really understand it. So we're going to position and talk to you guys about a couple pieces tonight that I think is going to really, really help you. In our community, the strong Black woman is such a thing. So the question tonight is that causing you to remain forever single? That's a serious, serious, serious concern. And we're going to talk about it. Where are we going to do it? On the JoJo Hill Show. Stay right here. Let's get it, y'all. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your friend and brother Robert W. Jojo Hill, the servant, the artist, and the author. And of course, I'm in the building on the day. Yes. All right, man. We are here and we are excited to share with you guys when on the night. Now, today, this is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about this question that a lot of the men has been asking this question, but the men have been asking the question, I believe, for the benefit of our ladies. Now, here it is, guys. Have we thought about this thing all the way through? Are Black women just so strong? Everybody's talking about how strong. Now, I've talked about this thing, I don't know, it's been probably 10 years when I first really beginning to speak about the whole dynamic in regards to the strong Black woman and how it's been perceived in our community. Now, in our households, in our backgrounds, with our aunts, our cousins, and people that we know, this has been the general thought. The number one characteristic has been how strong our women are. Now, what I want you guys to understand is we're dealing with something here that is really a positional thing. This is not about a characteristic as much as this is a position. Now, if you don't get this, our ladies will continue to go on believing that being strong is the best attribute. Now, I've talked about this for many years, and when I was thinking about what I want to do on the show tonight, I actually switched some things around. I said, because I really need to address a few more things tonight. And it's not just about telling you what to do to get a date, telling you what to do to try to land a dude. No, that stuff is very relative. And a lot of that stuff is not going to stick and stay because the overall dynamic is you're missing components and we could potentially be missing something. And what you'll be missing are the actual things that's needed to actually secure it. So if you don't know, and if you don't understand that you're stepping in a position and in a role that's really not your role, you'll always be out of place, out of position. So a man can't come in and actually occupy the space because you're behind and sitting in a doggone position. You have to understand and recognize that a lot of things that we've been taught as a culture could in fact be wrong. We don't like to acknowledge that. We don't like to think or acknowledge that perhaps something that we've been taught could in fact be wrong. One of the things I've noticed, first and foremost, is that in our culture, the idea of independence has replaced interdependence. So you say, Jojo, what the crap does that mean? Our women have been taught and trained to believe that you can just do it by yourself. So if you've been taught that, if you've been trained in that, Your persona, your thinking, your movements will all be reflective of that. In other words, you'll start just moving as if it's just you. So then you don't have a space for anybody else. Isn't that nuts? So you'll consequently keep repelling the very thing that you want. And I've talked about this before, how we don't attract what we desire as much as we attract what we are. So if you've been conditioned by your mother, your grandmother, your aunt to all believe, girl, you can do this thing by yourself. We've replaced the idea of family. So instead of thinking family is a husband, wife, and then children, now the idea in our community is that family is just the woman and then kids. We have to get away from that. We have to completely dismantle that belief system. If we don't, we are going to be in a serious fix. So watch this, guys. What we're looking at and what we're dealing with is a community that's literally believed that you don't need to be connected to a man. So the husband means nothing. So the definition of husband, house band, one that binds the house together or holds it together, is now replaced with I can do it by myself. This is insanity. The concept of this is insanity. So you wonder why our communities are consistently being torn down and broken down, torn down and broken down, piece after piece. Make sure you guys click like and share this on the platforms too. I don't really see all of the places that it is, but make sure you guys click like and share. And I'm going to open it up and I'm going to invite some folks on, because if you don't agree with what I'm saying, I would love to hear what you have to say. Come on and we'll talk about it. We'll give you an opportunity to do that later on in the show. First of all, you have to get rid of the idea of independence. If you're as a lady, get rid of that. That process is broken. I can't tell you how many of our beautiful sisters I've talked to, and they just go, well, I mean, I know I can. I don't know. You must be weak, and I know I'm sure. No, sis. Listen, you're defining something that's been given to you that's not necessarily your real nature. We have to understand nature. If we don't understand what we are at our core belief systems is what's guiding these things. It's our core. So if your core is off, and if your core has been illegitimately given to you, or if you have some information in there that's broken, it's not going to work. So then you'll be wondering why you've gone from year to year, year after year, decade after decade, and you're by yourself. And then every now and then a kid will get splashed in there. You get a kid, pops up in there. Somebody done shot the doggone club up, and here you are with another kid. You got another kid, then the second kid or third kid. And you have all these different children, because the idea is really you're trying to replace something, or you're trying to use the children. Or a lot of times what's happened in our community is that our women are using the children to try and replace the part in them that should be occupied by a man. So they'll get involved with strange dudes are just losers. They'll come in, jack you up. Before you know it, you done got another kid, and you like, oh God. But then you say, well, shoot, at least I got this kid out. I can then hang on and cling on to these kids. This is why in our communities, it's really interesting that a lot of our women will use their sons as counterfeit men or counterfeit husbands, or what should be in the husband position is now being covered up and cloaked by something else. This is a problem. So in 2021, we're going to begin to hopefully begin to open us up to see some other things, because this process is going to take some time. It's going to take some time to undo some of these other things that's happened to us. So it's happened as a community. So independence is the order of the day. Instead of thinking I should be connected with my counterpart, the culture has taught us not to need the counterpart. So the counterpart is completely out of the picture. It's like, we don't need to do. What the crap you mean you don't need a man? You need a man. You need a man. Let me say this to you. You need a man. Matter of fact, somebody just say that. You need a man. If you are a woman and you're floating around in this existence alone, this is gonna be a serious problem. I've talked about this for years. Y'all gonna be by y'all doggone self, because you can't walk into this thing thinking that you don't need what's your natural counterpart. So you say, what's the purpose of the do? Well, The actual purpose overall is to, first of all, provide you with security. You need security, yes. You want safety, yes. You want provision, yes. All these things, they say they want it, you want it, you want it, but the culture keeps convincing our ladies that they don't need it. This is a problem. Do you understand? This is a serious freaking problem. Now, if you don't understand that you have to adjust this thing, y'all gonna be by yourself. I don't have an easier way to say it. I've been saying this for years. You keep thinking that you don't need, but you do need. The next order of business is you have careers that's literally replaced courtship. It used to be a time, y'all remember we used to go to the mall. We would go to the mall, and that was the purpose. Let's get dressed and go to the mall. Let's hook up with chicks. Or the girl, I was talking to one of my clients the other day, and we were just kind of talking about and remembering it was a point in time when that was a thing. We went to hook up with people. That was the thing. Let's go meet some girls. Let's go. And girls would be, let's go meet some guys. Now the culture has said your career has replaced the idea of courtship. So they say, well, but I'm too busy. I'm working on my career and I don't have time for a relationship. Are you out of your doggone mind? All right. Y'all saying that crap now. You saying that crap you think is cute when you're 25. Eventually, you're going to be 52. Then eventually you're going to be 75. And you're behind going to be sitting in there by yourself with some doggone yarn, crying, making some socks and some doggone napkins. Listen to me, man. You have to understand this is not the way it's supposed to be. That's outside of the concept and the context of our thing, right? You can't believe or you can't think that this culture that consistently lies to us is going to give you the right way to perpetuate the family and to keep things in order for us. It's not going to happen. You have to understand, you have to remember that we're supposed to be connected. We've always been a connected people. We've always been spiritual people. We were always connected to the source. But if something convinces us that it shouldn't be that way, man, you're going to be in a freaking mess. So you have the careers, you have our ladies who's thinking, okay, the community says we have the highest educated. They say, well, we got all these educated women, right? We have all these career-oriented women. Yes. And all these wonderful statistics according to what that thing showed us or taught us. Here's the problem. The problem is them careers and them doggone independent thoughts. You're going to have some cold legs and calves. Your ankle's going to be cold and chilly on the night because you never locked in with anybody. You never locked in with anybody because the belief has it's thrown you out of that. We have to lose that belief system. We have to completely get out of that belief system. So if the belief system says the career is more important than the courtship, you won't even think about the courtship. That's why you have so many ladies just buy them doggone selves. It's amazing. We've never had such a drastically low connection with women and our men. It's like our black men has been completely ripped down in the minds of our community. That's nuts. If I take away the power of the man, if I take away the strength of the man and I assign it to the woman, we're going to have a freaking problem because now the woman is attempting to carry things that she's not designed to. You've never seen so many suicides and so many just sickness and people's bodies breaking down, getting cancer, all these different things, I believe, are a direct result of our women who are carrying things that they shouldn't be carrying. And I'm telling you, the men, I talk to the dudes. We have the Male Clinic Network, and I'm telling you, the men are saying something different, and the men are saying, "What? They're so strong. It's like they don't need us. What are we supposed to do with what are we supposed to do with these people?" This is a serious issue. Now, if we don't think from a futuristic perspective, in other words, if we don't think that down the line, instead of just thinking where we are today, you're gonna have some serious issues because you'll have the women who are now raising the boys alone. So now the boys are not getting information that should be indicative of masculine energy. They're now getting energy that's feminine energy. So as a consequence, what do you get? You're going to get these boys who have the demeanor of women. So now you flash forward in 20 years. Now your daughter, your granddaughter, my granddaughter, my grandchildren, as it were, are now trying to lock in with so-called males who have the energy of women. So if they have the energy of women, they're not going to act or have the they're not going to have the energy or the position of masculinity. They're going to have the energy of a woman. So now you have a cat fight. So now you have two women constantly fighting. One of them just happens to call itself a male. These are not men. You guys have heard me talk about the male and the man dynamic for many years. You have a lot of people who have swinging Johnsons, but they are not men. They have a wonderful set of, but they are not men. I told you guys before, I said, I don't care if he drops his drawers and his Johnson slaps the top of his shin and leaves a scuff mark. The only thing you're going to have is a sore vagina, but you're not going to have a man. And some of them come up, yes, well, give me, I'll take the sore vagina. Because, watch this, guys, because it hasn't been a thinking that says this is a very distinct characteristic. Men have a thinking and men have a position. Say that. Men have a thinking and men have a position. But if our culture teaches us that we don't need the men to have the position, our women will believe that they have to occupy the space of the men. And then you wonder why you're not getting a man. You're not getting a man because the man's looking at your behind and he sees the energy of a man. That's off. So if you got the men that have the energy of a woman, and then the women have the energy of a man, the whole dynamic is off. The entire thing, you have a broken, twisted, counterfeit fugazi. Everything about it is upside down. So therefore, it's not going to work. Are you following what I'm saying? Make sure you guys click like and share. Please do that for the algorithms and all this craziness too. If you guys are on YouTube, make sure you subscribe over there too. Please do that. We really, really need you guys to do that. I want to open this up in just a minute after I finish with my piece here. But I want you guys to just kind of make these points and understand these are very, very, very specific things. Watch. Education has replaced etiquette. Watch. How many times have you seen our women who will stand flat-footed and argue like pirates, cussing and screaming, and in the middle of their diatribe, they'll say, I got a degree. I'm educated. This is deep. I'm educated. So you think that the education has replaced the concept of etiquette. And then you wonder why Gwen keep getting your man. Listen, y'all heard me talk about Gwen for many years. Gwen is going to get your man. I'm telling you, because you know what Gwen is doing? Gwen is sitting her behind over there and she's learning how to act. She knows how to shut the crap up. And let me just say that. Let me just take a pause right there. Some of y'all have to learn how to shut the crap up. And I'm going to say what I'm saying. You talk too freaking much. I was listening to someone and I'm like, golly, do you have any private conversations? Every conversation that you have can be heard everywhere. This is freaking amazing. Sometimes you got to just know how to shut the crap up. The ancient writings said, even a fool is considered wise if he knows how to just shut the crap up. Some of you don't know how to shut the crap up. You talk too freaking much. A man can't get a word in edgewise. You talk too much. You have too much stuff. It's always a thing. It's always that other thing. You think that because you finished a degree that makes you have this other part, but it doesn't. Education does not give you etiquette unless you're going to a school of etiquette, unless you're going to a place where you're actually getting trained. We're actually going to be offering that this year as well. I was just in a conversation with one of my partners, and we're looking at putting together a wonderful piece for even the young ladies, like teenagers, because they have to get this stuff early. The problem is far too many of our women are walking into these potential dating scenarios, but their energy, they don't even know how to navigate it. It's like they don't know how to navigate a relationship. They don't know what it means to walk into a situation and just be a woman. What does it mean to just be a freaking woman? Now, I don't know what, I can't tell you what crap that is because I ain't never been a doggone woman. And if anybody told you that I would, they are lying on me. They lying. They're not telling you the truth about. No, that's a lie. Because I've never had that part. I've never seen that in terms of I've never done it. I've never been a woman before, but I can identify traits and characteristics that men would enjoy as it relates to a woman. There are some people. They are so boisterous and loud. A dude, particularly a dude that's got some doggone juice about him. And I call it my diamond guys, the people that are the diamonds. Y'all heard me talk about the recognizing the diamond piece for many years. That's a whole nother piece. That our book and all that stuff's coming out this year. We did a full training course on that and all that. And we'll kind of let you guys see that stuff in just a moment. But one of the things that I talked about in recognizing the diamond is that men that have a great sense of value and worth is certain things that they tolerate and certain things that they just don't. It's just the way it goes. We have a very specific sense of understanding. So it's things that we don't want to be involved in because it's like, man, I couldn't take this chick nowhere. She talked too much. I can't trust that our conversation is going to be our conversation. I was sharing with someone a couple weeks ago, and we were in a session, and the girl said, well, I really enjoyed this guy, really like him, but now he doesn't want to really talk to me. I said, no, that's not the normal characteristic of a man. If a man gets involved with you and everything is cool, and then he just don't want to be involved with you no more, you did something. The question is, what the crap did you do? You did something that made that man not want to be involved. You did something that made him not want to talk to you anymore. So if a man likes you and then all of a sudden he don't, and he don't want to have a conversation, your behind did something. And quite frankly, it's usually because you talk too freaking much. If he knows whatever happens with you is going to be just splashed abroad with every freaking body, that man ain't gonna want to talk to you. He ain't want to be with you. He's going to be like, oh, heck no, I can't trust this chick. She talked too freaking much. Every conversation, it was amazing. I'm like, I told the girl, I said, what did you do? Well, I didn't. I said, no, you're lying. Well, no, it wasn't like, no, you're lying. That's not the characteristic of a man. Men don't do that. If a man digs you and everything works, you have to have done something that made this mug say, oh, heck no, I can't fool with that. It's just the way it goes. So if you do something and it throws this man out, you have to remember that it could be your own words, your own lack of etiquette, not knowing how to just shut the crap up. Sometimes you'll see what a lot of people consider weak women. They consider them weak, but these are not weak women. These are very strong. These are very wise women. I've talked about wisdom being the primary association with the characteristic of a woman. A woman that's going to really get that jump, she's a wise woman, guaranteed. She has a thinking and a recognition of knowing how to shut the crap up, and she knows how to go in and she knows how to come out. She knows how to, certain things that you say and some things that you just don't say. You don't have to try to prove your freaking point all the time. When you have this thing like you have to prove your point, a dude that's really worth his salt, he ain't want to deal with that. If you have a woman who understands her girl, as I call it, that thing, that feminine energy that she really got, a wise woman that understands her feminine energy she can guide around a strong man, just like she can almost guide him around like a cartoon character. You remember when we was little, we had those cartoons and they would spray on perfume and the girl would walk by and the dudes would all start floating and following the smell. There's something very powerful about that. But if you don't understand that you have a power that's in connection with knowing how to shut the crap up, etiquette, knowing how to behave yourself wisely, etiquette, knowing how to go in and come out, etiquette, knowing how to just be completely all the way a woman without trying to interfere with the energy of a man, that thing will always win a man. Listen, man, I'm telling you, I have the conversations And I have some pretty decent friends and relationships that I forged over the years. And I'm telling you that it's a whole nother level. If you don't understand how to shut the crap up and move in the direction that that dude that got the juices going, you're going to be by yourself. Just understand, you're going to be by yourself. A woman that has replaced etiquette with her education, in other words, throwing the education around in place of the etiquette, you're going to be by yourself. Just go ahead and chalk it off. Understand, you're going to be by yourself. Your legs going to be cold as crap. Ain't nobody going to be squeezing your booty or nothing. You're going to be by your doggone self. I said what I said, because we have to understand, moving into this this part of this decade, you can't expect to do the same things and then expect the results to be different. Your results are going to be the same. If you don't do things that are different from what you did before, 2021 is going to look just like 2019. It's not going to be different for you. You're just going to be older. And understand, the older that you get, the more difficult it is for you to secure and lock in particular things. It's just the way it goes. Are you following what I'm saying to you? This is very, very specific. I'm going to put in the comment section, I want you guys to look down there. I'm going to put a link there. If you guys want to have a discussion, those of you that don't agree, some of you that say, oh man, you don't know what the crap you're talking about. I would love to hear what you have to say. Let's come on and let's discuss. Just click on that link there, and we'll get you on, and we'll put you in a little waiting area here, and we'll get you on so we can have a little discussion. When on the night. Now, here's a good one here. It's a good place right here. Strong women often replace cooperation with confrontation. Listen to me, and I want you guys to understand what I'm saying, because this is very powerful. Every man craves a nest with no thorns. Let me say it again. Every man craves a nest with no thorns. Now, if everything about your interaction with the man is confrontational, that man is he's going to leave you behind. He's not going to be around. Understand, you're going to have a left behind. You're going to be left behind. Your behind is going to be left. He's not going to deal with that. Every man craves a nest with no thorns in it. I remember hearing old guys talk when I was small, and they would always talk about just being able to go home and you just completely relax at home, or just having your space where everything was just flat. If you have a situation where the people that you're dealing with are always confrontational in their approach, eventually, if that man has any sense, ladies, please understand me, he's going to leave you behind. He ain't working late. He's planning his exit. He ain't just, hey, I'm not on a business call. No, I'm planning my exit. That man is going to leave the crap out of you, because every man craves a nest with no thorns. When he goes to sit the crap down, he don't want to hear rah, 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 rah. You wondering why this mug don't want to be around? It's because you're creating an environment that's making him not want to be around. This is very, very, very powerful. Confrontation in our community has replaced cooperation. If you get a woman that is very cooperative, and it's just for the gentleman, this statement here. Gentlemen, you know this to be true, and I need you guys to heart, like, and do whatever you got to do to express your agreement. If you have a woman that understands how to cooperate and work with you, she strengthens you. A woman that constantly confronts you weakens you. In other words, it starts taking the steam out of you. So ladies, please understand, you can't think that this strong dynamic works. The strong dynamic doesn't work. I want you guys to just completely dismantle that belief system right from the gate. Thinking that being strong is the best possible position is a mistake. I don't know what else to tell you. You lose it. You have to get rid of that thought. That thought is wrong, wrong, wrong. Well, I know I'm a strong educated. You're going to be a by yourself strong educated. Now, again, let me say this. Let me say this at the outset. If your intention is not to have a husband that provides you with security, safety, protection, provision, love, friendship, partnership, if that's not your intention, hear what I'm saying to you. Do whatever you want. Do whatever you want to do. If you think that you don't need these things, please, by all means, do whatever you want. I'm talking about the folks that are interested in being married, having a successful marriage that lasts the way it's supposed to last. If this is not your intention, this is definitely not for you. This information is not for you. If you're interested in only just going from person to person and just increasing your body count, hey man, do whatever you want. Any other road that you want to take, it's fine. And I'm certainly not suggesting that I have all of the doggone answers, but I can submit to you this. As a man, I can tell you what a man would desire. And of course you say, well, not all men. Okay, of course not all men. But this is a broadcast. And so we speak, generalizations are okay. It's okay to speak in these generalizations, but I can speak to you with a very particular degree of certainty with these generalizations, because men have a nature just as women have a nature. And our nature is to take care of and to provide, and strength is a part of our package. So if the woman is attempting to cover or occupy the space that the man is supposed to occupy, the man is not going to be there. Then you wonder why Gwen gets your man, because Gwen, her position for strong is wide open. She be sitting back. She act like she can't open something. Can you open this? Now, this ain't just talking about physical strength, of course, but it's just that need, because men, we instinctively want to help. We instinctively want to fix it. We instinctively want to be the one that did it or fixed it or made it right. That's our nature. But if you take that part away from us, it's like, what the crap are we going to be around you for? You have somebody who will date somebody for years and years and years, quit the crap out of your behind, and within 6 months, they'll be married to another chick. Well, he must have been messing with that chick. No, that's not true. It doesn't mean that he was messing with her. It just means that he could have met her 5.5 months before, or right at 6 months, and he will marry her. Because she will fit and cover all the parts that he needs as a man. You cannot extract and change the instinctive behavior of a man. You just can't do that. Just as men can't change the instinctive behavior of a woman. That's not accurate. You can't do it. Now, I don't want you guys to think and believe that you can do these things. Ladies, I'm talking to you now. Don't believe or think that you can do these abstract behavior patterns and then think that it's going to give you the results of what someone that's not doing that. See, your counterparts, the white girls and the Asian girls and the Hispanic girls, they don't have a problem with that stuff at all. They don't start fooling with that and going through that stuff until they start hanging around Americanized people or Westernized people and start thinking that they have to do that. They quickly learn very quick. Don't you do that? They don't do that. Sister Ali said in the 80s, she said, white women go to college to find husbands. Black women have been taught to go to college to prove that they don't need one. That's a serious, serious issue. That's a serious issue. You can't replace interdependence with independence. That's a mistake. You can't replace the idea of courtship with your career, Because here's the thing. Let me give you guys a secret. Ladies, if you've never known this, let me say this to you, and I cover this in the Recognizing the Diamond in my book and in my training. Men don't care. Men that really got their junk together, they don't care about your career. Your career is not important, because if you connect with the right kind of man, he's going to take care of you in terms of how you substantiate your lifestyle. Do you follow what I'm saying? It's a normal way of thinking. But if you don't know that, you'll believe and you'll think that you have to use your career as like some kind of hip shot. But to the man, that really doesn't matter. To the man, that part is really insignificant, because he's thinking, okay, that's cool. I mean, that's cool. That's cool. You make what you make. That's cool. But you don't need that, right? Because if the dude is going to take care of you, he's going to. How many of you, if you were given the opportunity, and I want you guys to actually respond to this. How many of you, if you were given the opportunity to be fully taken care of by a man that had substantial means, and or a man that was just on top of his junk, that could substantiate your lifestyle to the point where you didn't have to break your neck doing stuff, that you would do it? Most women will. I've taken this survey, this straw poll for years. I've not come across one that said I would still choose to go out here and break my neck. I was speaking to somebody the other day, business owner, made great money. And I said, okay, I hear you. You're saying all these things about your career and you making your money with your business. That's fine. But if you were given the opportunity to not have to do that, would you still do it? She said, oh, yeah, I wouldn't. I said, so if you could not have to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go do thus and so to substantiate your life. Now, I ain't talking about just doing it because you like it, because some people will pop on and they'll say, well, yeah, I will still do this, I will do that. I understand that. But if you could do it without the weight and responsibility of doing it, of what doing it by yourself brings, most people would make the adjustment. Most women would make that adjustment. And that's fine, because understand, men that have been taught and trained by other men think like men. I talked about it in the Recognizing the Diamond training. Diamond brokers, as I call them, or diamond people that recognize diamonds. The only way that you can get to a particular level of that, you have to be trained by somebody that understands how to do that. But if you're with someone, or if someone is training you, but they don't understand diamond value or diamond worth, you're going to have your interpretation is going to be broken. So if you have the opportunity, ladies, you would do that. So here's the suggestion, and here's my submission. And my submission has been for many years. If you know you're in a competition, you have to do the things that's going to be required to get you in the runnings or in the rankings to land the type of men that would do the things that you're talking about. And the type of men that would be in those positions of thought, or as in the diamond category, as I defined it, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't need that part from you. So you talking about how strong you are would do nothing but repel them. It wouldn't attract them. It will repel them. Do you understand? This will actually cause them to shun you. They were like, oh, heck no, I can't be involved with this chick. She's too hard. She's too hard. She acts like a dude. And if you're talking about two dudes in a space, you're going to have a cat fight. You're not going to have, you're going to have a bullfight, as it were. So to avoid the contention, as it were, or to avoid the conflict or the confrontation, that level of dude will just be like, nah, I'll pass. I'll go find me somebody else. And you look, and they'll be with the girl just be the most sweetest, soft-spoken. That don't mean she's weak. That don't mean she's timid. That just means she knows how to act. That doesn't mean she has some etiquette about herself. But we've been taught in our community to believe that being strong for our women is the primary attribute, but that's incorrect. That's incorrect. What should be the primary attribute of our women should be that of wisdom. In fact, we did a wonderful training called "What a Wise Woman Brings to the Table of a Visionary Man," and I would really want you guys to pop over and take a look at that piece here. This is the piece here. Go ahead and put that up. That's the training. What a wise woman brings to the table of a visionary man. And if you guys are here, I want you guys to please go over to rwjojohill.com and grab that training. It's an incredible, incredible training. What is your missing element? What is it that qualifies you as a wise woman? Most women would like to think that they are her. If so, what do you have to offer a visionary man and a relationship with him that sets you apart from all the others? What is it that you're going to do? What is it that sets you apart from the others? Do you follow? What is it that's going to make you be different from the others? Most women believe, and most women in our community particularly have been taught that the primary thing that you're bringing is strong. That's his position. If you don't understand that these are positions, you'll have this thing constantly in confusion. You'll be jacked up. And what I want us to believe is that I want us to begin to believe that we have interconnected relationships and that we need them. I need my wife just as my wife needs me. And there's nothing wrong with that need because it becomes fair exchange. Are you following? It's a fair exchange, as it were. This is very, very, very powerful information. All right, I'm going to go through and start reading through some of the comments here because I want to see what you guys have to say. And also those that want to pop on, if you have a disagreement and you say, well, Jojo, I don't necessarily believe that, and I have a different perspective, I would love to hear it. I put a link down there in the comment section. So if you guys would like to do that, make sure you click on that. All right, let's see what we got here. Miss Corbin says, allows time to be a better wife, serve others, volunteer, parent, create, and live towards purpose. Absolutely correct. See, when you don't have to carry the responsibility of how you're going to live as a woman, it gives you a freedom. It gives you something else. See, I believe my perspective of thought has always been, if a woman engages and goes and digs into the educational field, if it's not in a particular career path, something very specific, most of the degrees, and you guys can research this yourself, you're talking 75 to 85% of the degrees that are acquired are almost fugazi degrees. In other words, you could still live your life equally, if not better, without them. Now, I want you to consider that. Think about that. A lot of the degrees that our women have secured have been degrees that they could have still substantiated their lives in the same capacity without those degrees. But again, our culture has taught us that we have to do this. Our women have to do that because they know that our women, Black women particularly, account for a massive percentage of the dollars that are spent. They account for a massive amount of the loans that are taken out, a massive amount of the student loan debt and things of that nature. It's a lot of that stuff. So if you have a community that thinks that and knows that, they're going to use us for those things. So they'll keep pushing this narrative that says you have to do this. You got to be strong, because they know if you keep pushing the strong thing, you're going to push the man out. This is a problem. This becomes a massive problem because then our households are suffering. The household begins to suffer. Our children begin to suffer. It's a lot of different things. Ethel says, yes, I'm a witness. My husband does all of that and above. And I'm sure that you are at the house 100%, because if you could, you will be at the house. And as you're saying, Dr. Todd Neal, I see you there. Thank you, sir. All right. Now, if you guys want to pop on, please do that. If you can, you guys see the link? If you can, go ahead and do that, and we'll get you guys on here. So pop on right now. We'll take a quick little break here while you guys get the link. Get the link up and start locking that stuff in, and we'll see you guys in a few seconds. All right, guys, we are back, and I don't see anything in here. Nobody's popping on. Nobody's popped on to try to give their thoughts. Now, okay, now here's the thing, guys. We've been given a very specific path. We've been given a very specific assignment. And in that assignment, it's going to begin to challenge us in areas that we don't traditionally like to be challenged in. We don't like to hear that we could be off. We don't like to hear that something that we've been taught could be, in fact, wrong. We don't like to hear, in a lot of cases, we don't like to hear that, excuse me, the information that we've been given could have been flawed information. And so as a consequence of that, a great portion of us have lost opportunity. We've lost potential husband, lost wives because of the information. My assignment is to help us to begin to look at some of the information differently and start looking and believing and checking out. Perhaps this stuff was off. Perhaps we were taught something wrong. Perhaps the idea of teaching all of our young girls that they have to be strong above being wise was a mistake. And I can say that because, excuse me, I can say that because the results show us differently. The results show us something different. As Corbin says, we've lost ourselves as well. And I do believe that. I believe that we've lost our identity. And if you lose your identity, I can replace your information with anything. If I tear down what you should be, I can replace what you should be with anything. I can throw that out there and completely change everything about how you think of you. So if I know that you're supposed to be at 100 level, I can convince you that you're really a 2. And you'll never even think to ascribe to be anything above a 2. I remember seeing a story of some folks who had tied a baby elephant with a chain. He tied it around a pole. And as the elephant got bigger, they eventually took the chain off and put a piece of thread on his neck. The elephant was so conditioned by the chain, even though he could have snapped the piece of thread that was tying him to the pole, he wouldn't move because his mind had been literally conditioned to think something different. In that same wise, I believe that our community is suffering because we have a massive group of us who don't understand that we should be something else. We don't understand that we've been sold this bill of goods that tells our women that they should be one thing, but they really shouldn't be that thing. They should be something completely different. So our men are just missing. They're just gone. We're like, where the heck are they at? Now, let me say this to you guys. I want to encourage our ladies with this. Ladies, I want y'all to listen to me and listen to me very closely. Listen to me very closely. Do you know that the percentage of Black men that are available and childless is like 51 to 54%? I want you to consider what I just said. There are 51 to 54% of Black men who are single, never been married, no children. Now, the media has told us that there are no good available black men. Now, if the media says this, most people only believe what they see on TV or in the media or on social media and what have you. This is a mistake. It's a mistake because the powers that be are pushing narratives that are keeping our women single. One of the things that I've said, and I'm gonna say this because I'm going here tonight. I'm just gonna say it, and I don't care who this hits, because this thing is gonna hit somebody. The church, particularly the black church, keeping our women single as crap. The black church is keeping our women single as crap. Again, because of the thinking. It's a deeply seated thinking. These events, these conferences, these conventions and whatnot, the teaching is pushing this narrative into our women that you don't need a man. Think about that. If I get you to believe that you don't need something, all the things that that person or that entity should bring to you, you're missing them. Now you're not even looking for them anymore. This is amazing, man. This is amazing. This is amazing. So now you start looking at groups of our women in droves in these so-called establishments in churches and whatnot. And you have 85% of them, 90% of them that are still single. Do y'all understand that? That means that it's something in the equation that must be broken, because the concept of the strong black woman is a flawed concept. This has nothing to do with psychological wherewithal. This has nothing to do with mental capacity. This has nothing to do with functioning in wisdom and foresight and knowledge. It has nothing to do with that. This strength, this strong, is something different. Because in our community, this strong is being defined as it's a replacement characteristic. It's that of masculinity. It's actually replacing something. It's changing it. Are you following me? Completely different something. Now, I want you guys to go over to the website. Go to rwjojohill.com. If you guys will see down here, we have some incredible trainings there. And some of the ones I want you guys to take a look at tonight. For our ladies, I want you to definitely look at what a wise woman brings to the table of a visionary man. I want you to definitely take a look at that. In fact, let's go over and let them see that. Yeah, pop over to the second screen. Yeah, pop it there. All right. Now, this piece here, what a wise woman brings to the table of a visionary man, is a very, very, very powerful piece that I believe will be very effective for our women to begin to look at some things that you absolutely need to do. No, don't go that far. Let's go back here. Yes. All right. Recognizing the diamond is an incredible training as well. And if you guys get this training, you'll get 40% off. Plus, any of the trainings that are $100 and above, you'll get them at 40% off. Just put in the promo code of NY2021. NY2021. You need that piece in your life, man. Incredible piece. Recognizing the diamond. Also, this is another very powerful piece here. And we're going to do we'll do another show about this, how to monetize your creativity. That's a whole nother training as well. But constant relationship failures is the one that we want to look at also. Constant relationship failures. And what we talk about and what we share in those trainings, we want to give you guys some critical pieces of information that will help you to recognize why you're going from relationship to relationship and those things keep failing. There is no such thing as something having a curse and the cause is not connected to it. A curse causeless shall not come. There's no such thing as something being cursed, but nothing didn't cause it. Something is causing that. All right. This is very, very, very important. We can get out of that. Thank you. All right. Now, I want us to Approach this new year with a fresh set of eyes. A fresh set of eyes. Just take a moment. A fresh set of eyes is what we're looking for. We don't want to consistently lock ourselves in a cycle over and over. We've seen how this strong woman dynamic does not work. We've watched it. We've watched it for years, and we watched it not work. So now, what do we want to do? We want to begin to make some adjustments in how we're thinking. We want to make some adjustments in our approach. We want to make some adjustments in how we deal with men, ladies and gentlemen. We have some wonderful trainings for you as well. And we'll talk about that at a later date, but that's not this show. That's not tonight's show. Because I want us to just really look at this piece, because I don't want our ladies to land and stay out there forever by themselves. And every day you're getting older. This is what we don't like to acknowledge. Every day your butt ain't as tight as it used to be. Every day you have to remember your bosoms is not as firm and uppity and sitting upright as they used to be. They're changing. You have to understand, if you want to navigate through this course called life and have somebody in that bunker with you, it's things that you have to do in order to secure those people. Now, excuse me, here's the thing. We don't like to always acknowledge that we have flaws. I want you to consider that. We don't like to always acknowledge the fact that we have flaws. Sometimes the flaws are what's causing us to be by ourselves. So you say, okay, well, Jojo, what's those flaws? What is that? Okay, here's the deal. The flaws can be teaching. The flaws could be the information that you got as a child. The flaws could be how you watched the relationships when you were growing up. The flaws could be how you navigated through previous relationships. All of those things matter. All of those pieces matter. So if you want to begin to unravel that, it's going to require training. You're going to have to invest in yourself. We've already done the work and the effort with a great portion of these things, and we can help you guys navigate through a lot of this information, a lot of these things. These are full V-books, full video course trainings that you guys can download immediately. Pop over to the site, and I admonish you guys to pop over and participate in those trainings. Get the trainings. You need to have that stuff in your life. Recognizing the diamond is a very powerful training that you need to have, because if you're going to walk into these situations, you have to walk into them armed. But armed with what, Jojo? Armed with information. You have to be armed with information. And if you're not, you're going to potentially be out there by yourself. Because now a lot of us aren't 20 anymore. We done slid past 30. We done slid past 40. Some of us slid past 50. Very important that we begin to understand the counterparts. And being strong, ladies, I'm telling you, that's not it. That's not it. If that thing worked, we would have a higher percentage of women who are already in very successful relationships. It doesn't make any sense that we'll see all these folks and they're supposed to be so wonderful and so great and all of that. And at the end of the day, them mucks are by themselves. They got all of the stuff and they are by themselves. They got all of the possessions and they're by themselves. They got the house, they're by themselves. Walking around the crib, it's beautiful, but you by yourself. That's whack. That's whack. I don't care who told you that crap is cool. It's not. And I can tell you from a man perspective, if God made anything better than a black woman, he kept it for himself. Period. I said what I said. That is my position of thought, because I understand how wonderful and how glorious it is to have that relationship and have those partnerships and have that solid, just a person that you share your life with. You don't want to walk around this thing. Listen, I'm telling you, y'all, eventually you're going to be 50. Eventually you're going to be 60. Eventually you're going to be 70. So you have to lose that stuff, whatever the things are that are stopping you from securing the types of relationship that you want to establish and connect with. You have to adjust it. I was telling someone the other day, and we have to kind of wrap up. That's our time, right? Okay. I was telling someone the other day that you have no business just dating somebody for 10 years or 15 years. That's insanity. That's insanity. The concept of that is insane. You have to begin to make adjustments. Now, if you're cool with that arrangement and you just want to just kind of float around in there, by all means, do whatever you want to do. But as for me, there is no human way possible I would date somebody for 5 years. There's no way. I'm not doing that. No way. Because, and I'm going to say this, men think differently. Men have the ability to make decisions very quickly. Men make decisions very quickly. Not males. Men. Men have the ability, because they make decisions all the time, they don't have a problem with making decisions. So if you have someone who is incapable of making decisions, just be aware that they're probably lacking something in their mind. So if you have a man that says, well, I mean, I'm just trying to get myself together because, man, I was hurt before and I don't want to. What? I told someone the other day, I said, that's insanity. Someone telling you that, someone telling a woman, the reason that I'm not pulling the trigger with you is because I was married before and I was hurt. I said, here's how insane that concept is to me. Now, this is just my assessment of thought. That's like someone telling you because they fail riding their bike that they're never going to purchase or get on another bike again, or they'll never ride in anything that has wheels on it because they fell off their bike as a 2-year-old child. That's insanity. Here's what happened with men. Ladies, I'm going to tell you this, and you got to go get something from from my website just on this piece of information alone, because this is a business. All right. Listen to me very carefully. Men that have a habit of making decisions often, they have a habit of making accurate decisions. If they're used to making very accurate decisions, it doesn't take them long to make a choice whether or not you're her or not. Listen to me. If you say, well, Jojo, this person has the ability to make decisions, okay, then I will submit to you, then he has already made a decision, and that decision is you're not her. Okay, let me say what I said again. If you tell me that the man that a woman is with, and you tell me that person is at a certain level and caliber of thought and caliber of movement, and you're telling me that man does not and has not been able to make an accurate decision in regards to that woman, I'm telling you he has made a decision, and that decision is that woman is not her. This is a hard saying, but it's just what it is. I want you all to experience what you're supposed to experience. I want you guys to experience having the right kind of relationship, because I'm telling you, it's nothing like it. It's nothing like it. It's nothing like having someone that you trust, that you share your stuff with and share your life with. So, ladies, if it means that you have to lose the mantra of strong to get you in a position that somebody will pick your behind, put that crap down. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. You have to just acknowledge the fact it doesn't work. Well, my grandmama was strong, and your grandmama was by herself. Even if the dude was still in the house, he ain't like it. It's not instinctively natural for a man to do that. I'm telling you, what the men are asking, what the men are saying, are black women so strong that they're going to be by themselves forever? Prove them wrong, ladies. Prove them wrong. Prove the men wrong. Say, no, I'm not going to be strong. I can tell you every conversation, I can say this definitively. Every single conversation that I've had, let's say in the last 12 years, when I've had this conversation about the strong, particularly black woman versus the other, I'm telling you, every single session, every single counseling piece, every single one has been here. All right, I see you, Mr. Latre. I see you. I see you there in just a second. Every conversation has led itself and lend itself at the end where the woman was saying, I don't want to be like this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to carry this stuff by myself. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I'm tired. Jojo, I don't want to do that. Are you following what I'm saying to you? This is not a natural characteristic. Every woman that I know that I've counseled have all said to me at the end, because at first they would fight. Oh, well, you must be weak and you must be. Hey, listen, they go through all that stuff. But at the end of that conversation, I said, now, let me ask you a couple questions. If you didn't have to carry the burden of your household, would you rather not? Yeah, I would rather not do that. If you didn't have to drag yourself and go slave and work for somebody every day, would you rather not? I'd rather not. Every person that I've had the conversation with have all said the same things. All right, y'all. Let's see. I'm going to bring Mr. Latre on here. Let's see what Mr. Trey has to say. All right, Mr. Latre, let's see you, sir.
How are you, sir? Give me a second. I'm trying to kill the background so it doesn't mess up the show.
Yeah, you're gonna have to definitely kill that background. All right, and while he's working on that, guys, make sure see here. My hands broke. I don't want to be strong. 100%. I see you, Miss Grant. 100%. That is a very, very, very true statement. I've seen it for years. Absolutely no woman wants that.
All
Mr.
right.
Trey, how are you, sir?
Life is great, and I'm very proud of you trying to help our community
Yes, sir.
with this conversation. I think sometimes I'm a guy that battles anti-blacks in the boardroom and in the office every week.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So what I try to share with people is, especially ladies, when you're an established career guy, it's different from a get the money guy.
Mm-hmm.
You need a different caliber of lady to come interact with.
Yes.
And your mind has to be rested. So in everything that you've been saying thus far, and I picked up the last half, you don't want, it's not an issue of strong. You just don't want the things that she may have heard from her girlfriends trickling into her soul. Mm-hmm. And now you have to deal with it because you have empathy for her. So if strong is that, you just don't want to partake of it. I like dark-skinned women. Mm-hmm. I prefer dark-skinned women, but it comes across sometimes. You don't really like me. Oh my God, sister, what? Okay. All right, never mind. No. Never mind. Let me just walk past you. No.
Yeah. And it's the programming. It's the psychological programming of that. And that's very, 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 very true. And we've noticed that. And we talked about it a little bit earlier, I think, before you came on. Strong is, when we spoke about the strong piece, strong is really more positional than it is characteristic. So what we defined was how the strong for the man is a position as opposed to a characteristic. In our community, and a lot of times, and unfortunately, a lot of our women have embraced the characteristic as a primary attribute. So what you're getting when you have the conversations, I can almost say it with a particular degree of certainty, you're going to get this resistance because the culture has taught them this other thing. So Lord help you when you start introducing particular traits that they may have, whether it be light skin, dark skin. These are different dynamics. Now this changes it again. Now you're dealing with something else that turns it into another piece, another dynamic that we've seen that can be very, very, very interesting.
Let me ask you this question, if I may. So I'm a learned guy. I have my own conclusions, but since you're in the counseling field, I dabble in it, but you are
Okay.
quite are in it to win it. So
Okay.
here's my question. What I try to say sometimes is that like I ran across a lady one time, and she was very light skinned. She was petite. She had freckles. I was just captivated by her look. You
Mhm.
know, she had two daughters. You know what? That was okay with me. Let's see what this conversation is like. I'm captivated by your look. So she asked me about me. I said, I work in medical finance and I do XYZ, ZYX. Been living outside of America for 4 years and, this, that, and the other.
Okay.
And then I never heard from her again. She ghosted me.
Hmm.
And I followed up after 3 weeks because, I don't chase nobody. And I said, I haven't heard from you. She said, well, you do all these things and you've been all these places. I ain't feel like I can bring nothing to the table. I just like the FUCK. I said, oh, okay. All right, sister, I appreciate it.
Wow. And that and that was her response?
That was her response.
Yeah, and again, regrettably, that's it has a lot to do with the conditioning. See, I did a piece, one of our trainings we did called what a wise woman brings to the table of a visionary man. And visionary men, here's what I've discovered. Visionary men require things that their money can't purchase. So if you can't throw the idea of sex as the primary hooking or the linchpin, as it were.
True.
Because a person that has means, if they really wanted sex, guess what they'll do? They'll pay for sex.
Yeah.
They can pay somebody to just have sex with them.
I work with. I'm the only black man in my hospital department. We got white guys go to the massage parlor like once every 2 weeks. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, that's once every 2 weeks that you know of. No, they frequent. And that's one of the things that I talked about in the training. And I said, well, what you have to bring is the other part, because if a man, like what you identified, if you said, okay, I've identified this woman, captivated by her looks, her beauty, and she had children, first of all, that's already an interesting dynamic by itself. The fact that will be something that you will be even willing to bend on is interesting, because most men, and I've done the polls for many, many, many years, straw polls, at digital, the whole 9 yards. And the number one component for most men, particularly men that have particular means, their number one no-go is whether or not the woman has children or not, because most of them are thinking about their own personal legacy, what they're going to build, how are they going to grow things for themselves and for their generation, their legacy, their offspring.
true.
So the fact that that was a piece that you were willing to even entertain is already an anomaly. That's already a piece that's interesting. But what you'll discover is that a great portion of our women have been conditioned to think that all they are is the FUCK, as you said.
Yeah.
She would rather trade that. She would rather that be the trade-off, as opposed to thinking, I have to either come up to this level of movement, or I'll just lay on my back, let him shoot the club up, and then maybe I'll get pregnant by him and I have another set of child support.
Here's another paradigm that's just very weird. I interact with women in polyamorous scenes and other sexuality understandings.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what's so really sad.
Mm-hmm.
They're more, or let me not make it finite. They present themselves as more friendly and understandable than some of the people who are not in those dynamics.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand they have agenda, but it's like I wish our women would understand that a lot of these other women at least pretend for a year or two.
Uh-huh.
Or
Mm-hmm.
it's like some of our women
Mm-hmm.
tend to come with the A team out the gate. Hold on, wait a minute. Whoa. Like, can you pretend like this person over here? I mean,
Yeah.
at least for 6 months.
Yeah. 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 See, because I believe that this is amazing, man. And what you're saying, it's not uncommon. This is not uncommon. What you're experiencing is not uncommon. Where are you located?
Well, I just recently moved back to the Bay Area, so I've been quite a few places. But
Okay, so you're in California. Okay, so California, that's a whole nother dynamic.
well,
Um,
here's the thing: I will defend California on. I lived in Seattle, Portland, lived in New York, lived in Atlanta.
okay.
I will say this about California: it is good or bad. The people are more finite in what they're doing, meaning that I find less game plan
Mm-hmm.
because there's a level of appreciation that you guys are even speaking. Uh, in the South, it came a lot like it was a different dynamic. It was a different dynamic because I understand there's different levels of South from from Virginia to Texas to Georgia, but
Sure.
it even though there was a lot of women, there were a lot of people who, just like you just said, led with the sexuality so much
Mm-hmm.
that you're like, are you serious, sweetheart? It's like,
Yeah. Because that's their selling point. A great portion of them is particularly, I lived in Atlanta and I lived in California, so I've kind of been there and done that on both sides. And what I've learned is, particularly in the South, a lot of the selling points with a lot of the guys that I've counseled have been primarily from the ladies. It's just the sexuality, that sex piece. But if you're a guy that's looking to be married, are you married?
no, I came close twice.
Okay.
Uh, and before you finish, let me qualify real quick. I try to tell women, marriage for me is an investment and
Yeah.
somewhat of a business.
Yeah.
Love comes after. Love is about appreciation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but
Agree.
when a person does not have a great understanding that this is a team and
Mm-hmm.
we need to show some type of productivity the first 2 or 3 years, why are
Mm-hmm.
we here? Well, you know what I'm saying? Because
Mm-hmm.
it can't be just you're coexisting and I'm coexisting. But go ahead. Sorry to cut
Right.
you off.
Yeah. And that's a great point. Um, and I agree completely. Marriage is not kind of a business; it's 100% a business. And if I had my way, I would arrange every single marriage on the planet.
Me
Every,
too.
I believe they should be arranged, but that's a whole nother show. But
The Indians are doing so well.
yeah, man, because the idea of marriage, as we've learned it in this culture, has been uh, all based on the concept of love. But I think that's very relative. Um, Particularly when you have so many people that are experiencing divorce even after love was supposed to be the primary dynamic that made them get married in the first place. So that tells you that it's something off in that equation. If that considered and that alone, that emotional dynamic is the only thing that's being considered, you're going to definitely always have issue. So, again, I get a lot of guys that have come close to it or have been in it and just got the crap out. A lot of our women haven't been taught how to be wives. So as a consequence, the things that will be needed to cause a guy or a man that has particularly, especially that have means or that have their stuff in order. They don't have to be rich, but have their things in order.
Established.
They're solid, they know what the heck they're doing, they have a goal, they have plans. People that have very specific um, mindsets, it, they think differently. So if you have a woman that's only been taught to be strong, to think that, okay, I don't need this, they don't ever think of it as partnership. I talked about that earlier in regards to how they've perceived only independence and not interdependence, because interdependence speaks of partnerships or strategic partnerships, as it were.
True.
Some relationships that you put together, I know from an area of business, I have several businesses. I have very strategic partnerships. In other words, there's some things that are only put together for very specific reasons. They're not random. They're just not arbitrary. And marriage, in my estimation, should be perceived in the same wise. And we haven't seen that. We haven't seen that land like that for a very long time. So we have our folks that pop in, pop out. And as I was speaking to about the South, a lot of it's amazing. You have so many people down there that could be and should be in relationships, but they're not. It's so many pieces that we're missing. It's almost like we have to go through a very extreme hard reset. And one of the things that I've been working on for the last, I don't know, 9 years, 10 years, is trying to help us to begin to move in the direction of that reset. And if that reset is not available, we're going to continue down this path. And it's like that, in the area of, in the School of Business, we had a little chart, and they said if you put one variable slightly above the other, and you travel down the timeline, eventually, those things are completely, they're worlds apart. If they have the slightest degree variance in degree, that's it. It's going to completely separate. And I believe what's happening with folks like, like what you just described with the young lady, the piece where you were almost there and it didn't happen. It's several different reasons. And I believe that a lot of the conditioning on our community side has been affected.
All right, so here's my thing, and I'm gonna bounce. I just say this, brother. Look, I got legacy property. I got to deal with. Parents have had their property for 60 years, and black. I'm proud of. Father passed away. I got to hold that down. I can't just have anybody come into the circle.
That's right.
And what's unfortunate is I've held it down for I almost got married in 05. And then, of course, the crash and several other things happened. And I understand the thing of strategic connections, or marrying into the right woman that's connected to the right industry or the right family, whatever the case may be. But what I'm finding is I'm at 45 now, and I'm kind of looking at, you know what? I'm just getting tired of waiting. I'm looking in Africa now. I find myself on Africa sites looking in Africa now to see if I can import somebody. Going to visit my friend in Texas. He could see what he's going to line up, because I hear a lot of ladies talk like they're ready, but they haven't done any work. I am at a place where I understand emotional conflict. I haven't been angry since 2004. Very humble brother. I know how to deal with. I'm from the streets, but I'm a 3.8 honor student. I can flash on nerd, flash it off. I think it's just that when you run into people who are not really trying to do stuff for self, you're like, oh, that's going to be too much work. And when you run into people who don't understand the legacy aspect, there's a lady who's really interested in me. What does she do all day? Sit around with her dogs. What do you like to do for a hobby? I like to entertain my friends. What you mean? And you entertain them every week? Yeah, they come over like 4 times a week. Oh no. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I just wish women would understand when they get the opportunity to befriend a dude like me who
Mhm.
ain't trying to hit on you and cheat on you. Let's just look, JoJo. I even withhold a penis for 30 to 90 days just to see if this is going to be a real friendship
Mm.
because I'm already getting served elsewhere. I
Yeah,
need to know if this is going to be a real friendship. And sometimes that's a problem, JoJo.
yeah, yeah,
So educate me as I go out.
yeah. See, and I'm glad you spoke this, Trey. I'm glad you brought this up because I want our ladies to understand it, and I want them to hear it because a lot of our ladies, regrettably, are delusional. They have almost very unrealistic expectations, like what you just described. Like that's the thinking, like that's the overall thought, because it's like these bill of goods have been sold to us, and our ladies have bought into these bill of goods, so they think, okay, this is the thing that I should be doing to secure this level of person. And it's abstract. I've talked about this for years. I mean, you're talking 12, 14 years. I've been teaching about this. It's a very abstract thinking. So here you are with, as you described, you know, property and things in place that could in fact grow into something else, legacy pieces. And they, that's my language. Um, but you have to have people that's on that level. And see, what I teach, what I've always taught is you have to marry people that are on your grade. And you have to also connect with people that share the same belief systems as you. If your belief system says and suggests work for you is working at a car wash, but mine is owning the car wash, then we have different belief systems. So somewhere we're going to have an issue. So what I've always taught is only connect with people that have similar backgrounds, people that have similar belief systems. So even if you have any type of a conversation or um, heated fellowship, as it were, um, you'll have you'll have a basis of information to pull from that keeps you together. Did I lose you?
No, I just allowing you to speak. I just, yeah, I just always mute myself to make sure, because I do content as well. I talk about Africa and all type of stuff. So
Okay.
I try not to disrupt nobody's live stream.
Oh yeah, I got you. I appreciate you popping on, man.
Hey, it's all good, man, and continue to try to help because we don't hate them. It's just that
Absolutely.
it's just they're chasing 1/3 of the dudes.
Right.
1/3 of the dudes we don't even play basketball with. Let alone get 2 inches close to them.
Right.
So, they. I found this so funny. I had a panel a couple of days ago,
Okay.
and one of the ladies she said, I said, you know what? I understand suit and tie dudes are not great, but you guys should be going after managers and supervisors. And that doesn't mean you got perfect, but at least you get a 60-70% hike in
Mhm.
probability.
Right.
Uh, and she said,
That's
"Well,
right.
that don't mean he going to be a good man." I said, "But wait a minute, you're by saying that you putting him down on the criminal's level. Did
Yeah.
you?"
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying they the same. I say yes, you are because you're saying that he doesn't make him a good man percentage wise. I've dated nothing but lawyers, doctors, psychiatrists, so on and so forth. It's not that I don't like lower level ladies. It's just that I need for them to already be mastering their life to some degree.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
Right.
can't come in there with my schedule and now you texting me and you mad because I don't respond to the text. Anyway,
Right.
thanks, JoJo.
Man,
I'm gonna holler at you later,
absolutely.
man.
Man, I'd love for you to pop back on, man. Make sure you stay connected with us.
All right, for sure.
All right. Talk to you soon. All right. Some of you guys are asking, how do you pop on? There's a link in the comment section. I think Elijah asks, how do you pop on? There is a piece there and you can click on it and it'll get you in here. I'm so glad that that Latrey popped on. That was great information that he gave, and I want you ladies to hear that. I want you to hear what the men are saying. A lot of times our women are pulling the information from other women, but only a man could define for you and show you and tell you exactly what it is that men actually are looking for. So you can't go to a rabbit to get the eating habits of a fox. It will be easier if you talk to a fox to determine what the eating habits were. And this makes a massive difference. Make sure you guys go to the website rwjojohill.com and grab Constant Relationship Failures. Ladies, I believe that's going to be a big help for you as well. Of course, Recognizing the Diamond is a particularly incredible training that we offer. That is a master class actually in training, and some of the folks on here have actually gone through that training. I think I saw one of our good friends on here just a moment ago. Oh, Pyler Nelson. I know she's one of our supporters as well, and she's been supporting the content as well. So Recognizing the Diamond is a great piece that I believe that you guys should absolutely get, and you actually get 40% off of that training on tonight. And we have, I think we did everything in the store, right? Everything in the store. So everything in the store is 40% off of everything that's over $100. So please go over there and make sure you guys grab that. Again, if you guys would like to pop on, go ahead and pop in there on the link. The link looks like this. That is the link. So if you guys pop in that link, you should be able to pop on. All right, guys, I'm not seeing nobody else popping on. Let's see here. Let me show my man, Latrey, Mr. Research. Make sure you guys support him as well. He popped on with and share with us on tonight. All right, guys. Don't replace interdependence with independence. That's a mistake. Don't replace courtship with careers. That's a mistake. Don't replace etiquette with education. That is a mistake. Don't replace cooperation with confrontation. Ladies, please hear me. That is a terrible mistake. And you've heard it. You've heard it from some of the guys. I mean, gentlemen just popped on, and you've seen in some of the comments, and you've seen over the years a lot of these things that folks have been talking about. The strong woman piece is an error. That's an error. I want you guys to lose that. Get rid of that. Lose that mindset. Lose that thinking, because it's not helping us. It's really not. Make sure you guys pop over. If you're not on the YouTube channel, pop over there. Subscribe on the YouTube channel. I know a lot of you guys are here on the Facebook side, and we have folks on both of my pages on Facebook and also on the YouTube side. So I want you guys to pop over rwjojohill.com and participate and get those trainings. Elijah, I don't see you popping on, my brother, so I guess you're not making it in. So we're about to wrap the show up. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us tonight. We'll pop back on again on Wednesday night, and we will be back in the building and sharing with you guys again. All right, guys, this is your friend and brother Robert W. Jojo Hill, the servant, the artist, and the author. I want you guys to be encouraged. Oh, there's Elijah right there. Okay, E, now you're going to pop on. We just about to pop on, but I got to bring Elijah on, guys. So let's see what Dr. Elijah has to say. Elijah, we're going to bring you on here, my brother. Elijah G. Gilmore, my good friend and brother. What's up, man? Elijah, cut your mic on. Your mic is not on. My boy Elijah, I see you, but I don't hear you, brother. Come on, E. All right, Elijah looked like he got kicked out somehow. Let's see what he got. All right, Elijah, let's see what you got here. You with us, brother?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Come on, man. Talk to me. How you doing, man?
I see you, but I don't hear you, brother.
You don't hear me? Okay, give me a second.
I can hear you now.
Okay, what's going on?
How you doing, man?
You got
I'm doing all right, but I can hear another conversation, like another interview.
You have to turn whatever that other stuff is in the background off.
What you say?
You have to turn something on there off. You have to turn your YouTube off or something. Something is still on the screen. Is giving me
how you doing?
Okay, I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right.
Come on, man. What you got? You talk to me.
So,
I'm doing all right, but I can hear another conversation.
You have to turn something off, bro.
my
All right, you're gonna have to turn something off. He's having some kind of technical issue. If you guys have comments, go ahead and do that now while he's getting that piece together over there.
hold on.
I'm doing all right.
All right, there we go. Come on,
Can
you
you hear
talk.
me?
You talk to me.
Can you hear me?
I'm gonna have to pull you out, bro. All right. I'm gonna have to bring my boy Elijah back in another time because I cannot hear him. He's having some kind of serious feedback issue over there. We'll try him one more time. I'll try you one more time, Elijah, and that's it. Only because you use my drummer. Please. All right, Elijah, let's try one more time.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right.
Great.
I'm gonna have to bring my boy Elijah back in another time because
Well,
I can.
You got it.
But for some reason, I'm here, still hearing you late, but it's all good. I'm gonna ignore it.
No, you can't because I'm still hearing on this side. It's messing up the broadcast.
I'm gonna try you one more time.
All right, guys. Listen, we're gonna pop back on. I'm gonna bring my boy Elijah back on probably on Wednesday. You got to pop back on in the next day or so, man. And we'll go ahead and get you on here so we can share. All right, guys. This is your friend and brother Robert W. Jojo Hill, the servant, the artist, and the author. I want you guys to be encouraged, be empowered, and most of all, guys, I want you to be enlightened. Pop over to rwjojohill.com. Get this exclusive content and trainings, these courses, 40% off if you put in the code of NY 2021, New Year's 2021. Pop that in. That code is not going to be there for long. It's going to be gone soon, right? Yeah, it'll be gone soon. So make sure you guys do that so we can get you guys in. All right, guys, this is your friend and brother Robert W. Jojo Hill, the servant, the artist, and the author. I want you guys to be encouraged, be empowered. Most of all, guys, say it with me, man. Be enlightened. Servant has spoken. And I'm out.